Hello there. Hi, good people. Jason here with Green Country Agroforestry. It's starting to warm up, and since it looks like we're past the danger of frost, it's time to get started planting in our new little forest garden addition here on the north side of the house. Let me show you what we're starting with. When picking things to plant in our new garden addition, the overall height of everything needs to be taken into account. Because when the cable company installed our cable, which is how we connect to the internet, it passes right over the new garden area. I can't allow any tree that's planted in this area to get too incredibly big. Fortunately, the almond tree shouldn't get that tall. Mulberry right there, I think, will be perfect. These red mulberry trees produce really, really delicious berries. This is a rooted cutting that I took off of a mature Morris rhubarb that we have growing here. I've already sampled the fruit. I already know that I love the fruit. They're delicious. Look at those roots. Aren't they nice? We're going to get this transplanted, but to give it a better shot, I'm going to take a mycorrhizal inoculant that I do not get paid to advertise. This one just happens to have a large diversity of different species of mycorrhizal fungi, both ectomycorrhizal and arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi. A lot of good soil building fungi that are in there. And we're just going to stir it on up into that water, and now every plant root that I dip into that is going to carry a bit of that mycorrhiza with it. It's just perfect. Let's get this planted. Now it may be a season or two before the mulberry begins to produce tasty berries for us, but that doesn't mean that we have to go without. We're going to put Daylily here, and Daylily will produce flowers for us probably this year. The flowers are absolutely delicious. As a substitute for lettuce in your salad, they taste better than the best lettuce that you have ever had. So they will grow here, and we'll go ahead and space them out across the top of this mound. Wow. Let's get a couple more plants out of this. I took the liberty of soaking some borage seeds ahead of time. They've been in the water overnight, and most of them seem to have done okay. After soaking them overnight, they're ready to plant. These are a wonderful herb. They're an annual, so they have to reseed if they're going to reseed themselves, but they produce blue flowers that the bees just love. The flowers and leaves of borage are also edible. Taste a bit like cucumbers. Back there in the backyard we have these. This is an all-white daffodil, narcissus. Okay. Toxic, you don't want to eat these, but you know, neither do the deer, neither do the voles or the rats or anything else. They're pretty. Pollinators do like the flowers, so there's a reason to have them. Since we're going to go ahead and replant these guys, as much as it pains me to have to do it, we don't want them spending their energy right now focusing on blooms. We want them to work on re-establishing the plant. So this is a cutting of flowering quince. We've got it in some nice potting soil here, rooting hormone on it, and to keep it from getting dehydrated, we've just got this little soda bottle top that apparently somebody wanted us to recycle, so okay, challenge accepted. It's not quite ready to plant just yet, but whenever it does get roots, we're going to put it in right over here. Now, 9 times out of 10 you get wild lettuce in your yard. It's a weed. You pick it, you try to eat it, it's bitter. I've taken some time and effort selecting seeds for wild lettuces and letting the ones that aren't bitter go to seed, and this is the result. non-bitter wild lettuce. So as I continue to graze, I'll let you gaze. Back here we put in violets right there and right there, all along the path edge, violets every few feet. There's some more of that daylily. And this little plant, this little mint, it is a mint, member of the mint family, but this is not a mint with a strong amount of menthol in it like a peppermint is. This one is called mint root, or Stachys affinis. Another term for it is Crohn's or Chinese artichoke. It has a starchy tuber, a little bit smaller than my pinky, that it produces underground, and it spreads prolifically. So we're going to plant a whole bunch of these, there's another, all around here. And these little plants will produce starchy tubers in the ground, which we can harvest later for food if we want. Yep, that's food. The daylilies produce an edible flower, that's food. Violets, edible leaves and edible flowers, that's food. So here I have got a sage plant, sage bush. We layered this last year. There should be a link to a video up around here somewhere. As you can see, we've just cut it off of the parent. It's got its own root system developed. We're going to plant it over here. Here is a look at the sage bush that we planted out here. Can you hear that dove? We've got a few native doves that like to hang around this area for some reason. Alright, so this is a sage bush just starting to put on its flowers. They're a purplish color. They'll be blooming here shortly. Culinary sage, just use this in the kitchen, but it's going to be feeding pollinators very shortly. And of course we just transplanted one of these. I just wanted to give you a look at what they look like a little bit further along this time of year. Around late April, early May, these guys will be open, and hummingbirds also will be visiting these flowers. My supervisor here instructed me to remember to water and to, of course, inoculate our new additions with mycorrhizal fungi. Pardon me, sir. If you don't mind, I need to get around to the other side. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, he's got a crack right there. Running right up his butt. Look at his butt crack. Well, all right, good people. We're going to take this opportunity to let the irrigation system water everything in right now, all these wonderful things that we've just planted. And speaking of irrigation, irrigation is actually what we're going to discuss next. And yes, if you've been wondering about that little tank right over there, it does have something to do with this entire procedure. That's coming up in another episode, irrigation and maintenance. But that is all I've got for you today. As always, I hope you found the video informative or entertaining. If you did, you know what to do. I will catch you next time. Until then, get out there and get